And in a desperate attempt, they're trying to somehow tie President Trump to the scandal. President Trump has nothing to do with it. He has said himself, he has nothing to hide.
He said it himself. Is that not enough for you people? He's never misled us before.
I've not been a fan of this man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks to the nation. Mm-hmm. So I have not really had much to say until he started running.
Picture this, Donald Trump just doing his thing when, bam, Jimmy Kimmel and Whoopi Goldberg tag team roast him so mercilessly the studio audience practically needed emotional support. The jokes, razor sharp enough to file taxes. Reactions were instant, the internet erupted, and yes, Trump responded, making the spectacle even funnier. Stick around, this is comedy history in the making.
Made up? Don't forget Musk publicly threatened to drop a big Epstein bomb on Trump. But now I guess they're cool. It was a parade of the unpleasant, and no one seemed to be enjoying themselves less than Melania.
50 years I've had this right. And here you've snatched this right out of my hands. You've taken my right as a woman to make decisions about myself, and you're bragging to me, and you want me to give you my vote.
Jimmy launched in like someone handed unlimited permission to roast without consequence. That trademark grin warned the crowd. I'm about to say something I shouldn't, and I'm going to anyway. Mischief filled the room before the first sentence even landed. By the time he compared Trump's decision-making to a toddler driving a forklift, the audience was already in stitches.
Which means the bill now goes to the White House, which means Trump's going to have to sign it. The goal was to have the bill passed by such a large margin that Trump can't put his little orange thumb on the scale and give it the old Cheeto veto. But make no mistake, this isn't over. He's not giving up easy. If anyone thinks he's going to release all the Epstein files, I've got a beautiful East Wing of the White House.
Whoopi stepped in like she'd been handed a flamethrower and a permission slip. No raised voice, no rush, just effortless poise, like she'd been waiting all month for this moment. Her first jab was deceptively casual, delivered as if recounting a sitcom plot about a guy who keeps landing in trouble, yet insists he's the hero.
That man has something to say to me.
Oh.
He saw a meme. You know who? Saw a meme that said I was leaving the country. People always see these crazy memes that I'm going to leave the country if he gets in there. Somebody else thought I was leaving, was sending suggestions for people to take my place. Look, I'm not going anywhere.
Even the band looked like they were fighting to stay upright, and that was just the warm-up. Jimmy painted Trump as a man whose life goal was collecting scandals like Pokemon cards, every resolved issue magically replaced by another. The audience barely had time to breathe before Jimmy landed a punchline so absurd, a camera operator nearly lost composure mid-shot.
So they ate, and then Trump kept the party going at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum, where Prince Salman and the Burger King made a very dramatic entrance. It's going on! Are they about to wrestle the Iron Sheik? What?
She likened Trump's ego to a skyscraper built on jello, wobbling with every headline. The studio audience dissolved into hysterics, and Whoopi didn't stop there. She unleashed roasted metaphors like coupons at a liquidation sale, portraying Trump as a man who wakes up each morning intent on breaking his own personal record for public embarrassment.
And it's not for the reason, you little snowflake. It's not for the reason you think. He said nobody wanted me. Honey.
We want you, Whoopi.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't matter if no one here wanted me. Thank you. But I know where I'm going to be because I got a contract. So I'm going to be here where I'm wanted for the next couple of years.
Jimmy dove back in with the confidence of someone granted legal immunity in comedic form. He painted Trump as a man parading around with an invisible gold medal for achievements in drama creation. Then came the visuals, Trump staring into a mirror, giving himself pep talks like he's starring in a motivational sports film no one else agreed to produce. Each punchline hit like a precision drone strike, and the audience reacted as if they'd just witnessed a championship win. Producers exchanged nervous glances, as though someone might need to trigger an emergency comedy off button. Whoopi returned with deadly composure, a strategist targeting every soft spot. She dissected Trump's habits like bizarre quirks from a questionable reality show about a billionaire trying to be relatable, roasting him for treating every TV appearance like an audition for a non-existent documentary. She turned his dramatic reactions into roller-coaster-level audience hysteria.
After an almost unanimous vote by Congress, Trump's cronies in the Department of Justice still have the power to withhold information to protect ongoing investigations, to protect innocent people, or for reasons of national security. The DOJ can withhold entire documents, photos, and or video. But they would never do anything like that, would they? They're sworn to protect the Constitution of the United States. Something's fishy. Trump rolled over faster than that dog Ghislaine Maxwell gets to play with in her country club bridge.
If Trump ever watched the playback, he'd need a week off just to recover from the ego injuries. Jimmy kept the momentum with the energy of someone who'd had 3 espressos and a legal waiver. He catalogued Trump's behavior patterns as if narrating a wildlife documentary, each revelation louder than the last, like a strange mating ritual. But here, the ritual was pure attention-seeking. Trump appeared powered entirely by headlines, as if his nervous system were wired directly into cable news graphics. When Jimmy finished, the applause felt like a celebration of survival. Whoopi didn't merely pick up the thread, she yanked it. She portrayed Trump as someone convinced the world is auditioning for his fan club, handling criticism like a frantic bee-swatting spree. Public opinion, a roller coaster he built himself, unasked, unwanted, and unavoidable. Calm expression, devastating humor.
Gave him a little love when he came out. He was checking to see if Elon made himself pregnant too. These guys, their relationship is like a Cybertruck. It's cold one minute, on fire the next. I guess they made up. Don't forget, Musk publicly threatened to drop a big Epstein bomb on Trump. But now I guess they're cool. It was a parade of the unpleasant, and no one seemed to be enjoying themselves less than Melania. That is the look of someone who's wondering when Congress is going to vote to release her. So they ate, and then Trump kept the party going at the U.S.-Saudi Investment Forum, where Prince Salman and the Burger King made a very dramatic entrance. What is going on? Are they about to wrestle the Iron Sheik? What is happening? Once the music stopped, the real show started. Trump, say what you will about him, when he's in front of a specific group of people, like he was at this Saudi investment thing, he has an uncanny ability to zero in on the issues that matter most to them.
They started screaming at me, eggs, eggs! At the White House, we have an Easter egg hunt. We buy thousands of eggs. The people come from all over, thousands. They asked me, sir, would it be possible this year to buy plastic eggs? I said, I'm not buying plastic eggs. The kids are going to pick up an egg. They're going to, what the hell kind of an egg is this? And we bought maximum number of regular eggs.
We bought maximum number of regular eggs. He speaks like he's translating himself from Russian into English.
Whoopi took the momentum and turned it up. Now she was riffing on Trump's social media presence like a one-man Broadway show with no script and too much improvisation. She described him tweeting with the intensity of someone trying to defuse a bomb, yet always cutting the wrong wire. She likened his attempts at profundity to fortune cookies generated by malfunctioning software. One audience member clapped so hard a stagehand offered water. Leaning back, Whoopi made the room feel like a roast disguised as therapy, joking that Trump treats every setback as the finale of a melodramatic soap opera titled The World is Unfair, featuring me. Jimmy returned like a sitcom uncle from commercial break, roasting Trump's speeches as motivational seminars where the speaker forgets the topic and repeating phrases like a toy with 3 pre-recorded sound bites. The punchlines hit so hard the studio band nearly folded over their instruments.
As it turns out, I was filthy.
She was so filthy dirty, disgusting, half the place left. I said I'd never hire her again.
I was filthy. And stand on that fact. I have always been filthy. And you knew that when you hired me. I headlined, babe, at your casino, which I might have continued to play had you not run it into the ground.
Exactly.
But it does that. You know, listen, how dumb are you? You hired me 4 times. You can go to William Morris and get the things, because I know you all are going to be looking for it. So talk to William Morris. You hired me 4 times, and you didn't.
Whoopi swooped back with her trademark smirk, ready to unleash more comedic artillery. She riffed on Trump's legal troubles like collectible trading cards, each shinier and more absurd than the last. The audience howled as she likened his reactions to new charges to someone receiving a restaurant bill far larger than expected. She flowed from punchline to punchline like a comedian in her ultimate playground, leaving applause so loud Jimmy had to talk over it just to continue. Nothing was off limits, facial expressions, overconfident gestures, dramatic interviews. Jimmy struck with surgical precision, while Whoopi framed Trump's public statements as declarations that age like spoiled dairy. She roasted his habit of shifting narratives mid-sentence and acted out his confidence as if playing royalty in a community theater production, sending the audience nearly to tears with exaggerated swagger.
He's going to take it, he's going to fly and use it, but he's not supposed to have it. I got the Constitution right here. He's not supposed to have the plane, okay? You know, and if people always want us to be respectful and do the things and talk about the stuff we talk about. We can do all of that. But when you are blatantly giving the country the middle finger, that is blatant. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to take the plane.
Jimmy returned with a breakdown of Trump's rallies, portraying them as chaotic concerts where only one performer knows the lyrics. He described the energy like a fan club meeting run by a hyperactive mascot. Each metaphor grew more absurd, and the audience roared with every exaggeration. Trump's mannerisms, hand gestures, dramatic pauses, were amplified to theatrical extremes, almost daring the crew to intervene. Whoopi followed with surgical precision, roasting how Trump narrates his life like the hero of a fantasy trilogy, plot twists careening sideways. Laughter was non-stop, as she treated the roasting like public duty. Jimmy then dissected Trump's public feuds, turning them into reality show drama written by middle schoolers. Every reference piled absurdity upon absurdity, with exaggerated reactions that sent the front row into hysterics. Trump, he said, loves conflict the way cats love knocking things off tables. Not personal, but pure chaos.
Epstein's wing woman, she had that meeting with Trump's deputy attorney general and former personal lawyer over the summer, and then coincidentally got moved right out of regular prison and into the kind of prison Felicity Huffman was in for getting her kid into college. Under the Bureau of Prisons policy, convicted sex offenders like Maxwell are not typically eligible for minimum security, but I guess 34-time convicted felons aren't typically eligible to be president of the United States either. So thanks to Trump, she now gets all these perks, including playtime with a puppy, which makes sense. She is the world's most famous living groomer.
Whoopi approached the finale with quiet confidence, recapping Trump's legacy of attention-seeking as if it were an Olympic sport he trains for year-round. She likened his need for the spotlight to someone who literally needs oxygen. Every line was a comedic sledgehammer delivered as calmly as a bedtime story. The audience, exhausted from laughter, braced for one last perfectly timed roast. Trump didn't appear as a politician, businessman, or influencer. He was a man driven purely by drama for drama's sake. Every metaphor escalated, every description exaggerated, and the laughter swelled. The final punchline hit like an explosion, applause rattling the stage monitors. The closer landed with total poise, underscoring the undeniable truth. Trump thrives on spectacle, and no one loves giving him a comedic wake-up call more than Jimmy and Whoopi. It was a mic drop without a drop.
So, this will also be decided. This is the part that really tickles me. It's going to be decided by some of the same Justice Department lawyers who worked with him on these past cases. So Americans, the question is, are you on board with all of this? This is like a cash grab.
Yeah.
And your taxes are probably going to be paying for that.
That ballroom.
I mean, it's kind of kooky.
By the end of the night, one fact was undeniable. When Jimmy and Whoopi declare roast season, Trump is the main course. No escape button, no quiet exit, no plot twist to reverse the burn. Just pure, unfiltered comedy turning chaos into entertainment, the aftershocks lingering long after the cameras stop rolling. Jimmy dove in, spotlighting how Trump reacts to criticism like raccoons chasing shiny objects, frantic, unpredictable, and oddly committed. Whoopi framed him as a man who wakes up believing history books await updates according to his mood, handling bad news like sitcom parents confronting broken windows, denial, bargaining, dramatic finger-pointing. Laughter swelled as Jimmy circled Trump's press appearances like fireworks, exaggerating gestures, packing, and self-importance until the audience seemed to physically clutch their ribs, powerless against the comedic onslaught.